Okay. Hi, Carrie. Carrie's here too. Carrie, Sarah, can you hear anything yet? Can you hear me yet? You hear now? Awesome. Sarah, somebody say something in chat so I know it's actually working. Yes. Oh, awesome. Okay. I refreshed the link. Sometimes, technology just got to reset its brain. So thank you. Thank you for that. Oh my goodness. I'm over here talking to myself. How you doing? Sarah, have you made a lot of progress on your quilt? How's that coming? Good to see you guys. I didn't know if the link wasn't working or if it wasn't actually broadcasting live or what was happening there. So to make today's journal, it is super easy, but also super cute and different from traditional or standard journal pages. You will need some pages or sheets of cardstock in 5 by 10. More technical difficulties. Shoot. 5 by 10 lengths. And you'll just need 6. So I'm just cutting, let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's the page that I don't have one of yet? You'll just need 6 lengths of 5 by 10. And I can actually do the back side of one. So I'll use this one. Okay. I am just us chickens. Oh, man. All right. So we're going to have 6 lengths of 5 by 10. There's my 10. There's my 5. Super easy to do and doesn't take a lot. If you have, sheets that you've used half of, you can use the other half because you only need 5 by 10. Let's see here. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you actually need a 6th, but the 6th we're going to end up cutting in half into 2 5 by 5s. So there's 6. So we're done with the paper trimmer. Let me put that away. We are light on attendance today. I know several people have had a rough weekend. There's been stuff going on. There's illnesses. There's an emergency to the ER. Margie's home, so was hoping to have Margie on today, but I don't see her yet. Okay, so I'm having my own issue here. If I wince in pain, please don't, just ignore it. So having a problem with my shoulder, keeps trying to jump out of the socket or something. I don't know exactly what it's doing, but I'll see the surgeon tomorrow. Okay, so here's the journal. Here's the journal that we're making. It's just 5 by 5, super cute. And when you open the page, there's a pop-up. See how it pops up, folds, and then pops up. So you can put anything you want on that. And we probably won't have time to decorate completely, but we're going to get the journal assembled and the pop-ups done, and then you can take your time to decide whatever you want to put on them. Right inside the front cover is a pocket right here. So we're going to make all of these, and then every page is a pocket. So there's a tag in there. So every other page, then you can put tucks or whatever you want there. Every page is a pocket here, and every other page has a pop-up there. So there's every other page. There's tags in there, pockets on the top, and then your pop-up. And then the back one. So every other page is plain to decorate as you choose. Put things down, make tucks or corner tucks, whatever you want to do, flip ups. And every page is actually, you can see on the top, every page is a pocket to put something on top. So that is what we're going to do today. And I'm going to bind it a little bit differently so that we will be able to see the cutouts. So you'll see that. All right. So if you are going to play along, or if you're watching on the replay and going to participate, you will need 6 pieces of cardstock that are 5 by 10. Here's our 6th. One of them is going to be your cover, and we'll cut that one in half. So I've chosen this one to be the cover. I've cut that one in half, and I'm going to set that one aside. The others are 5 by 10. It doesn't matter if it's printed on both sides or only one side, either way. So, yeah, Lucy in the background, because we have somebody just came over to do some yard work in the back, and Lucy heard him go back there. Lucy, you can go out the Lucy door and go see him. Go ahead. She thinks she's protecting me, but if she would go look out the back door, she'd realize who it was, and she'd run outside to play with him. So, all right. So, also, we do have, excuse me just one moment. Hey, honey, I'm in the middle of Jumpstart. I saw your text. I did. Yeah, thank you. Bye. We do have a prize pack today, all ready to go. It is, I think everybody who's here is probably familiar. We have a couple of people not in comments, but that are here watching. The prize pack, we give away a prize pack every single time we go live. And anybody who participates in the super chat in supporting the channel, supporting Happy Paper People, gets in a drawing. At the end of the live, we draw and we give away this prize pack to one person. That person only has to pay shipping, send $11 for shipping of the flat rate envelope, and we send that prize pack off. It has, this one I know has 2 stamp sets in it. I remember that. It also, I can see a metallic marker in there. It has all kinds of things that we have made on Monday Jumpstart. It has supplies. It has partially made things. So if we did something with lunar paste or with sprays or stains or different paste through stencils, might have things that we've done at different stages to use. It has completely made things and supplies to make things. So just a fun prize pack full of all kinds of new stuff for your junk journaling. Some new stuff, some old stuff. So, all right. So to start with, we're going to take every one of these pages and we're going to fold it in half. And it doesn't matter which way you fold it, because as we go along, you can decide which side of the paper you want to use, if it's double-sided, printed on both sides. And if it's not, that's okay, because one side, we're only going to see one side of each of them. That's why it's okay if it is not printed on both sides, because then you know which way you want to put it, because you don't want to see the plain white side. Or maybe you do, because you can take the plain white side and you could stencil on it to make your own designs there. So I'm just going to fold each one of these in half. I got that ring going off in my ear, and you're probably hearing that as well. I apologize for that. I wish I could disable that. And if that's possible, I don't know how to do it quickly enough that I could just do it right now. So there is 3. That's a pretty side too. I like the blue. There is 4. I know, Lucy. I know. You can go out the Lucy door and go see Sean. Go out the Lucy door. He's in the backyard, not the front yard, backyard. She sometimes doesn't realize that the ring goes off in the backyard too, because there's a camera back there. Because when it goes off in the backyard, it's usually her out there, so she doesn't hear it inside. So when she hears that, she automatically assumes it's out front, and she's protecting the front door, or protecting me at the front door. So, okay. All right, so there is our 5 pages all ready to go. So, and then this is going to be our cover, so I'm leaving that aside. So the first page, in fact, every page along the way, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one I have 6. You could do as many as you want. We're just going to do 5 today. But you can take each one of these and decide which side you want to see. So if I want to see that side, or do I want to see that side? Well, I kind of love both sides of that one, but we'll go with that one. And then I can decide what order I want to put them in, knowing that they're going to be glued back to back. So I'm not going to see those two sides if that's what I choose. Or if I go like this, then I'm going to see that side. Okay, so then next, I think I like the stripe. And we'll go with the stripe. And I like to even put that in between there. And then I have a stripe right there. I like that one. It has more colors on it. I'll go with the green right here. And the last one, I'm going to go with this pretty damask side. Silly dog, I know. She's actually really smart, but she's outside when the back one goes off all the time, so she just never heard it. Except she does hear it if Doug locks her in and he goes out to do something that he doesn't want her to get in the middle of. So, but she still doesn't realize it's the backyard because it's going off constantly in the front yard. Okay, so here's what we've got. This one, then these two will be together. Get that one. These two will be together. That one. These two will be together. That one. Okay, so our first page is going to have the cover on the outside, and it's going to have a notch here and a notch up here. So we don't need to cut these notches yet, but this will remind us this is the first page. We're going to thumb notch. So if you've got the 5 stacked like this, we're going to take the first one. Any size circle will do a thumb notch. Y'all know that. You could even do a square. And we're going to thumb notch our first page just like this. Okay. And now our first page, we're also going to cut a pop-up out of. So this is the side, the orientation, which is why I notched first so that I can remember that that is the thumb notch that goes right there. Okay. And so it's folded this way. So my pop-up is going to come up right here. This is super easy to do. Let me show you how. I'm going to take a ruler since it'll make it easier to. I have a short ruler. I do have a short ruler instead of a great big long one. I can see in it. All right, I want a pencil. A pencil. The pencil. Okay, so with this ruler, I am going to mark 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch up from the, I cannot see that. It's clear and I can't see a thing. So I'm going to have to go with a bigger ruler. It has black markings so that I can see. Actually, there we go. Actually, I could use the grid on here too. So however you want to do it, I'll put it here and then I could use this grid so you can see that as well. So this is 5 inches tall. I'm going to go 1.5 inches down from the top and put a mark. I'm going to go 1.5 inches from the bottom, up from the bottom, and put a mark. So I've got 2 marks right there. Okay, 1.5 inches down, mark. 1.5 inches up, mark. And now I'm going to go move it to a corner so I can actually line up perfectly there. Okay, now I'm going to go 1.5 inches over inside, and I want to mark there 1.5 inches over and a mark there. And all I'm going to do is line up my ruler to those 2, just so I know that I'm straight, and then go to the middle and put a little mark. Okay, so I've got a mark. Let me make these a little bit bigger. they're going to get cut anyway, so it doesn't matter. Make them dark and wide. So I went 1.5 inches down and put a mark, and 1.5 inches up and put a mark. And then I went 1.5 inches in, shoulder, 1.5 inches in, and I put a mark. So I am going to cut along this mark 1.5 inches deep. I'm going to cut along this mark 1.5 inches deep. And so I'm going to, if I take this and I just draw, might be easier to see. Instead of just doing it, let me make a, there. Okay. So I drew a line 1.5 inches in. And now each of these two is going to get cut up to that line. Okay. So I'm just cutting 1.5 inches in on each of these. So in order to make sure that my line is straight, I will just line this up, put a mark, line this up, put a mark. Now you can see. Okay. So 1.5 inches from the bottom, 1.5 inches from the top, and then I'm going to cut in 1.5 inches. Is that 1.5 inches? It is. Just doesn't seem that deep. So this here ends up being 2 inches. And I'm going to cut each of these marks in 1.5 inches in. So just like this. And these marks don't matter because this is going to be glued down. You're not going to see it. There's one. I actually do this better on my paper trimmer, but for the sake of being able to see it, I'm trying to use scissors. Okay. So 1.5 inches from the top, 1.5 inches from the bottom, and I cut it in 1.5 inches. All you have to remember is 1.5 inches. This centerpiece ends up being a 2-inch section. All right. And then all we're going to do is fold it back at that. You just do this. We'll fold it forward at the where it's bent. And then open it up. Okay. So when you open it up, it will push out that way, or it will push out this way. So even at this point, if you decided you wanted to flip the paper over and use the other side, you could. So I want this to be the inside because I want this to be the side I'm going to see. And so I'm going to make that flip up. It folds right there. It's the same fold as this one, folds right there. And so as I fold that down, all I have to fold to make it stay is right here. So as I pull that out and it comes down, then I just fold that and I can crease, burnish that down right there. And there's your pop-up. It's really, really simple once you've done it once. So back to this piece of paper, 1.5 inches down, 1.5 inches up, and cut in 1.5 inches at both of those marks. And you end up with this flap right here. Fold that flap to get a nice fold there. And then when you open it up, you can push that up. When you fold your page, you've got your pop-up right there. Isn't that easy? Okay, so that's our first page. First page is going to attach to the second page. Now, you could do this on every single page. So you could do the second one too. I'm going to leave the second one so every other page is solid. Actually, I'm doing this one different. I might do every single page. Here's what we have here. We have every other page is a pop-up, and every other page is solid. That allows you to do different things than you could on the pop-up page. But I am going to do every page, and I'll show you why, because I want to bind it a little differently. So I'm going to set the first page over here and just know that that's the first page. So I need to keep these in orientation, but it's going to be the same thing on every one. So let's do this a little bit quicker. We're going to go 1.5 inches up, 1.5 inches down, and 1.5 inches in is right in the middle of that line of dots, and my 2 marks are right there. So I want 1.5 inches in for this mark, and 1.5 inches in. Actually, so you can see, it's just, I'll just do a line for that one on every one of them, because there's the line. Okay, so I've got this mark here. Should get some skinny little scissors to do that. And this mark here into the line. Okay, I'm just going to set that aside and do all my cuts first. So here we go. Again, we have 1.5 inches down is my mark. 1.5 inches up is my mark. And 1.5 inches in. This has rubber on it and it sticks to it. All right, 1.5 inches in. And there's my line. So I'm going to go to first mark, second mark. And if these were a little off, it wouldn't even matter, because each page functions independently. Okay, next page. 1.5 inches down and 1.5 inches up and 1.5 inches in. This one's probably a little bit easier to see the marks because it's a lighter color. So cut at that mark into the line. Cut at this mark into the line. Super easy, isn't it? It is simple. Once you figure it, you see those pop-ups, you think they're so difficult, but once you figure out an easy way to do them. All right, last page. I'm going to go 1.5 inches down, 1.5 inches up, and 1.5 inches in my line. All right, cut that one in at the mark to the line. That one in at the mark to the line. There we go. All right, so now to assemble these, I do want to fold and burnish that to make sure that pops out on every one. So I'll just go back and do them one at a time here. All I'm going to do is fold it where I cut it up to that line. So I'm going to fold it there, which gives it a start. And when I bring it back and I open that up, now I can fold it the opposite way, bring it out here, and just give it a good burnish right there. Okay, there's two. There's three. If you are out watching on the replay, hi, Patty. Welcome, welcome. Going to watch on TV while you clean? Awesome. Thank you for your contribution so far. The prize pack today is yours. It's a good one. For those who are watching on the replay or coming in at this time, also want to remind you that this Friday, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, we are having the Better Than Black Friday sale at Happy Paper People. We have traditionally had a Black Friday sale, and I can with confidence say that this is the deepest discount Black Friday sale we've ever had. Everything, and not just the hot buys, but everything is going to be clearanced. There's a lot of stuff in the shop that needs to find new homes, and every single thing that we bring out is going to be clearance item. So there will be hot buys for $1 or $2. There will be, everything is discounted, 50 to 90% off. The bottom line is everything is going to be at or below wholesale. There is zero profit from this sale. It is purely to find new homes for all the products. So this is all brand new products from the shop. Hi, Sylvia. Brand new products from the shop in this Better Than Black Friday sale. And don't want to miss it. We will, assuming we can physically handle it, we'll continue on Saturday morning as well. So Friday morning, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. That is 9, 10, 11, or 12, depending on where you are. Okay, so this is what we have in the end. We've got 5 pages here, and every single one of them has a pop-up. Okay, so now we're going to glue them together. So this is where you want to, this is our front cover. And so we did the thumb notch here, knowing when we put the cover on, one of these is going to be the cover. When I put the cover on, I will thumb notch out of here too. So that has, or you could leave the front cover without a thumb notch. I didn't on this one. It's just thumb notched on the inside so that you can see, to pull that tag out there. All right. We're going to attach the second page to the first page right here. And we want to make a pocket on the top to slide down in. So I'm not going to deal with the cover yet. So let's start attaching pages. As we make the pocket to slide down in here, we want to make sure we keep that open. That means we're only going to attach 3 sides. But you've got a cutout here, which means if it slips back like this, make sure you don't put glue on that. So keep your pop-ups to the center. And so as you glue this page, let me see if I can try to do this. As you glue this page, you want to glue 3 sides only, but one side is only partial. So I don't want to glue the top. That's going to be my pocket. So I'm going to go, hopefully, I'm going to go down this side. All right, maybe not. Okay, we're going to go down this side. All right, what is up with the glue today? I know it got cold overnight all of a sudden. Yesterday it was way colder than it has been. But goodness. I don't think it was that cold. Unless it's got a clog. Oh, it's got some dried glue at the end that I couldn't see. So let me make sure. I think I've got that off now. So it might have been covering the end. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go down this side. We're going to go across the bottom. It's coming out in such a teeny tiny little strip. We're going to come up the other side just on these 2 notches. Okay, so then these 2 are going to come together. I'm going to line them up outside here because if they are off just slightly, I can deal with that at the spine. Okay. So those 2 are glued down the side, across the bottom. So there we have our first 2 pages. Both have a pop-up. We're going to do the same thing on the next one. I'm going to do the same thing on every one of them. I'm going to try this pin back in here again. I never had it come out in such a teeny tiny little stream. All right, so down the side. And across the bottom. Might grab a different glue. And then up the other side, only on the 2 tabs. So Sylvia, we got stitches yet? Put those 2 together. Make sure they're lined up. And if one's a little off, I can always trim it. You know, if I cut one a little bit larger than the other accidentally, not a huge deal. Okay, so I'm just gonna reinforce where I've adhered it there. Now we've got 3 pages, each with a pop-up. We're gonna have the 4th and the 5th. Where's Glynis? Glynis was not feeling well all night, and so she didn't actually get to sleep until this morning, so she's probably sleeping. Across the bottom. And I don't know where the queen is. I thought she would be here, unless she's just so happy to be home that she got into her bed and fell asleep deeply, like the Princess and the Pea. Hi, Chris. These are all top pockets because I cut out, except the last one, the last one that's going to be with the cover, we'll make it a side pocket. Because I cut out every page as a pop-up, they're all going to be top pockets. So this one, and inside the cover won't. Inside the cover will be, even though it's a pop-up, inside the cover will be a side pocket like that. Then all the others will be top pockets. And then the back, you could either make it a top pocket or you could make the back a side pocket. Okay, we've got 1 more page to put on. So let's do our last page. Want to keep the top so I don't glue the top. So I put my thumb up there. Keeps me from putting glue up there. I try to keep it oriented the right way so that I don't glue the wrong side. But sometimes you get talking. Easy to do. So I find that if I put my thumb on the side that I don't want glue, it helps keep me straight. Okay, so we've got our last page on. That one I can tell is a little bit larger and I can trim that up. Not a huge deal. So I'm going to line it with the top. I can trim the bottom. Then I'll come back here and just reinforce where my glue was. And you can see that that's just a slight bit larger. So I was a little off in cutting that page, and I can just trim that up just like that. Super easy. This is such a cute little journal, and it's so easy to do. It's very simple once you realize how to cut these little pop-ups out. Okay, so there's your pop-ups. Chris, thank you for your contribution. And you are in the drawing for the prize pack, which is sitting right here. Okay, so now we've got a pop-up on every page, and we've got a top pocket between every page. Okay, so I want to cut notches on the tops, make it easier to put tags in there also to make it recognizable. If you gave this to someone, they might not realize that that is a pocket up there. So I'm going to do it now that they're together so that my notches are lined up. I have done it 1 page at a time, and then when I put them together, they weren't exactly lined up. It doesn't really matter if each page is lined up with the next page, honestly. And you can't have them all there when you do it because then it just won't punch through. But what I mean is that I previously had punched each one of the individual pages before gluing them together. And then this notch on the front and back of the same pocket didn't exactly line up. Didn't really matter because once you put a tag in it, you can't really tell. unless you look closely after you take the tag out. But it's going to get smaller and smaller if I keep using that. So as long as the pocket is lined up with itself, I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to put a thumb notch in each one of these. And I'm not doing the back yet. So the front, oh, look at that. We have a full circle. Let's see, where's my front? This is my front right here. Okay, I have to go find the spine. This is my front, and I'm going to use this as a cover. Okay, and I want to bind this so that I can see this gap, because then I could also put things inside the stick through there if I wanted to. But that means that I'm going to have to cut out this one. Easy enough, just like we did the others. Even easier because it's only a single sheet. We're going to go 1.5 inches down from the top and 1.5 inches up from the bottom, and then 1.5 inches in. And this one, I will see that mark, so I either want to make it really light so that I can erase it, or I'm just going to make a partial just so I can see that line. Because this is the cover, I will see it. But I do need it there. I'm going to go to this mark and cut into that line and go to this. Where is that mark? There it is. Go to that mark and cut into the line. Okay, and then on this one, I need to cut this piece out right here. And so I'm going to just grab a blade to do that. Now, you don't have to do this. You could do it like this, where I covered the entire spine. And so I covered all the parts where the pop-up is cut out. Okay, normal spine. I'm just showing you how to do this one differently. So this one, I'm going to, where's the metal? I'm going to grab the metal ruler and I'm going to put it on that mark. It's going to be right there. I've got a line there, so I'm just going to cut along that to cut that piece out. I have to keep looking to see where to end. That was the end right there. Okay, and then I can come back and erase this mark. I'll probably do some kind of decorating right there anyway. Okay, so there's my front cover, and this is my back cover, like that. I could just line these up, and instead of measuring, but remember, just 1.5 inches from the top, 1.5 inches from the bottom, and 1.5 inches in. That's your marks. Okay, and I'm just gonna, because I've got a perfect line right there. Now I can take my blade and just cut that. Here we go. Okay, so there's my front and my back cover. So this is the front. All right, so I'm going to attach this. And because I have a pocket right here, this is the side I don't want any glue. So I'm going to do glue on the top and the bottom and down the left side. So I'm going to hold that one and glue those. And be sure you only glue the tab that's sticking out, don't go all the way around it and come up into this open part. Thank you, Carrie, for your contribution and your support. Really appreciate it. Okay. So let me try to line that up a little bit better with that first page. There we go. Okay, so that first page, I have the tab right here. So I've got my open pocket and make sure that it seals down on the top and bottom. Each one of these has the pocket on the top. Come to the back page, and I could decide on the back page, do I want the tab on the top or the side? I'm going to do it on the side again. I'm going to go ahead and tab or thumb notch the last page so the cover can be solid out to there. So I do not want glue on this side. I want glue on the other side. So I'm going to go across the top, across the bottom, across the two tabs. Is anybody making it today? Or are you just going to watch and do it later? Hopefully you do it later. It's really quick. It seems to take a lot longer because I'm stopping to explain it so many times. But hi, Sarah. Good to see you. Sara Rosario. Haven't seen you in quite a while. It's really awesome to see you. Okay, put this on there. Almost debated whether to do Jumpstart today because there's so much to do to get ready for the sale, the Black Friday sale, but decided we all need a little break for fun, right? Okay, so I'm lining that up by the outside and by the top. I can trim off the bottom if I need, and the spine is going to be covered, so I'm not worried about that being perfectly in line. Cut it all really quick just as we were getting started so I can see that some of my cuttings might have been a little bit off. Okay, so there's my book, and I've got the pocket. I have to glue that a little more. I've got a pop-up on every single page. I've got a top pocket between every single page, and I've got a side pocket on the back cover. I'm going to have to reinforce my glue. I'm not giving it time to. Okay, so now I'm going to do the binding. And so this one, we did every other page a pop-up, and every other page is solid. And so all you need to do when you go to decorate this and you put something on the pop-up, just remember you're going to glue it onto the pop-up. You're going to glue it onto here. Let me show you something here. Let's say you were going to glue something on. You only want to glue it on half, either half. If you glue it on the front half, you're going to see it when you pop up. If you lay this down and you glue something over the whole thing, it's not going to close because it's supposed to bend in the middle. So you can have something that's big that sticks, clear out. You can have something that, sticks clear out to the edge, even comes out. But you want to make sure when you glue it down that you push this down to see how far it goes in, because when you pop up, that's going to come up. Also, you don't want it to overlap over here. Otherwise, when you go to close it, it's going to bend your item in trying to close, or it's not going to close. It's just going to break it or it's not going to close. So make sure that when you put your item on, you're gluing it onto the left side of the pop-up and leave enough room in there for it to fold closed. And then when it opens, there it is. And you could put something that is not wider than this, or on both sides, or something that is wider on one side. On that other side, I could actually put something that it's really skinny that you would see on that side. But you could put two thin things there that when you pop that up, they're side by side. That makes sense? Okay, so on this one, we did one binding that covers the entire thing. This one, I think I'm going to do, I'm just looking at the scraps, things that we offcut here. Should be able to use a scrap, and kind of like that one. That one's pretty. Any of them will do. All right. So all I'm going to do is make a spine or a binding for this spine that wraps around, and I'm only going to wrap it around these two sections instead of the entire thing. You could actually, even on this one, you could make a binding that goes 1.5 inches or more in on either side. So it'd be a 3.5 inch wide. So when you fold it, that it would cover that entire thing. You could absolutely do that and then enclose that. I kind of want to leave them open. Get the pin back in here. Sylvia, thank you for your support. So far I have Patty and Carrie and Chris and Sylvia in the drawing. Did I miss anybody? You guys, you're putting in for Sarah. Awesome. Okay. Sarah took her. Okay, I'm going to cut that off. Now, I want this only to be the width of this. And I know that I came 1.5 inches from the top. I can say I could trim up one of those a little bit. So I came 1.5 inches from the top to make that cut. So I'm just going to make this 1.5 inches. I also came 1.5 inches from the bottom. So if this is long enough, I can do both. And it is almost 6 inches. So I can make it almost 3, and that's still going to give me probably more than I need for both top and bottom. Sylvia's putting in for you, Sarah. I'm going to put that away, but I think I don't want to put it away yet. So I want to just decide how far in I want this binding to cover the spine. And I think I only want it to cover, a portion of it. It could go all the way into here. Maybe I will do that. If I do that, would have liked to have left it just a hair longer, but that will work. So if I fold that in half, and then I put that okay, and then I'm going to fold the other one in half and hope that that one's long enough. That one's shorter. That one's even shorter. There's another piece that has that. I do. All right, I'm just going to cut off of this damask. I'm going to cut off 1.5 inches. I want the top and bottom binding to be the same. There's some intense pain there. So now I got plenty long. I can look at that and say, how long do I want it? I think I want it to go all the way to that cutout. And so if I wrap that around, that's how long it would be. I'll just cut that off so it's equal in the back as the front, and do the same with this one direction. So if it goes to here, wrap it around. Okay, so there are my two binding pieces. Right. Okay. All right, so now all I'm going to do is get some glue, and I'm going to glue the entire thing. So I'm going to put some glue along here that just helps these stick together and will also help them stick to that binding. And I'm going to put that right in the middle. I'm just going to hold that end on for a second. Sometimes I get way more glue than can dry in a few seconds there. Might take it a bit, and if so, I'll just clamp it on. But I'm pressing it in because if these pages aren't exactly even back here, it's totally okay, because by putting that extra bit of glue, the glue will just fill in the gaps. It'll just fill in the gaps and make them all fit just fine on that spine, on that binding. All right, so let's get a little bit of glue on here. And a little bit on the front. Leave it around. I'm just going to push that in nice and tight. Hold that for a minute. Don't forget to post your creations in the Facebook group. I always love to see what everybody else is making or what you're working on, even along the way. It's inspirational. I know I can't be the only one that finds inspiration in seeing what everybody else is making and doing. I know I'm not, because I've heard it before. Let's see. I want to get some on the back of here first, because this is where it needs to fill in the gaps. If there are gaps, and I'm confident that there are gaps. All right. Okay, so let's get that right in. Plenty of extra glue. I always forget I shouldn't take it right up to the end, because as I press it down, it squishes. It's going to squish up. So towards the ends, so we don't need actually to go all the way to the end. And yet I forget every time. Okay, glue the front, glue the back. And then you can proceed to decorate. So you can make tags to go down in all those pockets. Got a lot of pockets, got a lot of pop-ups. So you can make it with only a couple of pop-ups. This one has every other page as a pop-up. You could make it with every page being a pop-up, like we did this one. And then we bind it with that open spine. So this part is open. So if you put things inside, if you put something in here that sticks up in there, it's going to just lay there. When it folds closed, you're going to see it there. And when it's open, you're still going to see it there. You just can't overlap the pop-up that wants to pop up. So just gives you another avenue of being able to put some fun things in to see out of there. Anything that's within this space is going to stick out and not get caught in the pop-up. There we go. So we've got plenty of places to put tags and plenty of places to decorate and put pop-ups. They can be big pop-ups or little pop-ups. Doesn't make any difference. So that is your pop-up book. That is your super easy pop-up and pocket pop-up book. Isn't that easy? If we put that in a full circle and you got a little star there. Was easy though. Wasn't it easier than expected? Tell me that. I took inspiration from a workshop that I went to a couple of years ago with one of the companies for retailers, and they made this book and they did a pop-up within the book. And I thought, okay, we can make that even easier, and we can, make that like every other page in just a mini book. So it is actually very simple to do. So at the beginning, where we showed just how to fold 5x10 sheets, fold them in half, cut out, go measure a 1/2 inch down, a 1/2 inch up, and a 1/2 inch in. Cut that out. This ends up being a 2-inch gap in here. That's all. It is super easy to do. You could put thumb notches over here and they could be side pockets. I chose not to. on all of the ones inside, but the front and the back cover are the side pockets. So super simple to do. And once you've done it, you'll never forget it. So it's not something you're going to need a whole bunch of instructions for. All right, let me get the wheel of names going here. And so I have to go off of the page for just a second to get to the wheel of names. And let's see, I've got Patty and Carrie and Chris and Sarah. Did I miss anybody? I'm going to come back and so you can tell me. I've got Patty, Carrie, Chris, and Sarah. Hope I didn't miss anybody. It is a perfect size. You could do photos. Carrie, Chris, Sylvia for Sarah, and Patty. Okay. All right. Let me get those in the drawing. Let me get that repeated 4 or 5 times. Let's get multiple chances. Copy. Paste. So the event for the Black Friday sale is already out there. I will be creating the event for the Saturday portion today, so that'll be there too. But really, it's the Friday one. You want to make sure that you don't miss at the beginning. We will start on time. We will, the first couple minutes, we'll go over some business as to how things are going to be handled through the sale. And then we're going to start right away. We'll have hot buys. I don't even know how many. There's a lot of hot buys. So at any point, a hot buy can pop up for $1. And some of those are going to be really great things to stock up on, or stocking stuffers, or Happy Mail, things like that. All right, let's see here. Let me get back here to our current chat. All right, we ready? Here we go. I'm going to watch YouTube so that, did I bring it up on the screen? Oh, I did not. I got it halfway there. There we go. All right, now we're on the screen. Now you can see. So I'm going to watch YouTube so that I won't see it before you do and ruin the surprise. It is spinning. You can probably hear it. It actually makes the spinning sound of a wheel, which is fun. Oh, Sarah just barely clicked past Sarah and it landed on Patty. Congratulations, Patty. Congratulations. Congratulations. That is awesome. You are today's prize pack winner. You have done it before. Just send $11 for shipping. The post office has tacked on a fee till the end of the year for the holiday shipping fee, like they wouldn't be working anyway, right? Patty, I don't know for sure if you have sent it. Okay, so, let me back up to PayPal here for a second. I had 2 PayPals. I've always had my personal PayPal, and then we had a Happy Paper People PayPal, and they are charging me the business stuff on both of them. So I consolidated them. So there's only one PayPal, and it is my name, and it has, I think that one has a picture of Lucy on it. Can you send it through Super Chat? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah, it doesn't matter, Super Chat or PayPal, they're still going to take a percentage of it. They take a percentage of it even if it's shipping. It doesn't even matter to them. So the shipping now is like $11.80. I'm going to pick up the rest, but if you do 11, yeah, they'll take their percentage either way. If you want to do that right now, let me know, and I won't end, or just give you a minute to do that. Boy, say that fast. Happy Paper People PayPal. Yeah. So I consolidated them. Now there is only one PayPal, and it is under my name. But that is it. PayPal is considering it a business PayPal, and it is the Happy Paper People. You just don't see the Happy Paper People portion. I consolidated them into one screen on PayPal, and so the only thing that shows is my name on that. So just for future, so y'all know, if you get an invoice, it'll say my name instead of Happy Paper People, but it's all consolidated. So, all right. So maybe I'll do a little bit of decorating on this. I'm probably going to put this in somebody's prize pack. In fact, Patty, do you want this one? I'll stick it in your prize pack today. I think there's still room to stick it in that one. And Patty, let me know if you're going to do that through Super Chat, so I don't end this stream before you do that. Otherwise, it would have to be through PayPal. That is totally up to you. Thank you all for joining me today. There you go. You are awesome. Thank you. Oh, look at that. You included extra for the fee. Patty, you are amazing. Appreciate you. Really do appreciate you. I am so looking forward to Friday and Saturday's sale. It's really exciting as I'm pulling everything out and getting it organized and counting how many there are. We're trying to be ultra organized for Friday with the mods and how things are going, because there is so much. We want to be able to get through as much as possible. So don't miss that. We'll see you Friday morning, 10 a.m. right here. Thanks so much, everybody. Have the rest of a great day and stay curious.